Hello everyone, welcome to today's session and I hope all of you are having a great time. I have also recovered now. There's a little bit of cold left, but majorly the fever has subsided. Let's look at today's question. Today's question is longest duplicate substring. It's a hard level question on lead code and it has a very important and a fresh new concept attached with it. So without much ado, let's look at today's presentation. I'll be explaining the question as well as the solution in the PPT itself. Longest duplicate substring lead code 1044. I would request you guys to have a look at the background. It has a deep meaning attached to it, and if you understood the meaning at the end of today's session, please let me know in the comments. The question says we are given an input string str and we need to identify the length of the longest substring that is duplicated in that string itself. So what does this question remind us of? It reminds us of longest common substring algorithm, wherein the same string is passed to it as the input string. The only difference in that algorithm with respect to this question is that we need to make sure that the same string between the I and j indices is not considered as a valid duplication. For example, you have a banana here and you pass in the string banana to the longest common substring algorithm. So both the strings are banana and you don't consider the same instances of a and a at the same indexes in both these strings. What I am trying to say is this string a and a should not be considered as a valid duplication because both of them occur at the same instance of I comma j. We need to think of this corner case. Rest of the algorithm will work as it is. What we need to consider is this a and a is being repeated in the other string at different indexes, this particular a and a. And if we are able to identify such instances in the input string, that serves our purpose. We were able to identify duplication and we will return this as one possible solution of the duplicate substring. We need to identify the maximum out of it, so we will identify the one with the most length and return its value. Pretty simple and straightforward so far. The time complexity of this approach is order of n square and the space complexity is also order of n square. This algorithm, especially longest duplicate substring question, won't pass if we go and solve it by order of n square complexity. We need to improvise it. And the way to improvise it, Rabin-Karp hashing algorithm. This algorithm was devised by Princeton University. There's a research paper on it which is equally interesting. I am attaching the findings of Princeton University in the PPT in the video itself. So if you get a chance to have a look at it, please do give it a shot. Now let's talk about the core Rabin-Karp algorithm. The name makes it sound like a little complicated. However, the algorithm is pretty simple and straightforward, easy to understand. So without much ado, let's have a look at it. I'll be dividing the algorithm into two simple parts, two simple concepts that we have already gained mastery in. The first one is binary search. So let's assume that we want to identify the maximum length of duplicated substring in any input string str. So what do? We will apply the binary search on the length of that input string. We'll take two variables, low and high, or left and right, whatever you want to name it, and the lowest value of duplication is 0, the highest value of duplication is max length. What do? We identify the middle string, the middle length of string, and we check whether this particular string up till the middle length is duplicated in the input string or not. Let's assume there is a black box method that we already have which tells us that this particular string up till mid is duplicated. If that is the case, then we repivot the low and high pointers accordingly as per the decision that is governed by the duplicate string. For example, if the duplicate string helper method tells us that up till mid there exists no string which is duplicated. We divide high to mid value, otherwise we update low to mid plus 1, the way we have been applying binary search on plenty of questions. The takeaway from this complete discussion is that we'll be using the binary search algorithm to identify the length of the longest duplicate string that is present in our input string. What we have assumed, we have made an assumption that there is a black box helper method, duplicate string helper, which tells us that up till this middle length, this string is duplicated or not. Now the problem reduces to building this helper method appropriately. So let's look at this helper method. Even before diving into the details of it, let's break it into simpler aspects. Let's assume there's a string ANA and we generate a hash of this input string. Let's assume the hash turns out to be 3278 by virtue of some complex logic. If we witness the same type of a string again in our input string, and how will we identify whether the input string is same or not? We will generate the hash of the new string again, and if these hashes turns out to be equal in nature, we can say that both those strings were equal. For example, let's take the banana case itself. We first witnessed ANA, we generated a hash for it. We again witnessed ANA, we again generated the hash of it, and in case both the hashes turn out to be equal, we can say that both the strings are same. The complexity comes into picture. What algorithm are we using to generate the hash which is resulting in no collision policy? Now the problem has reduced to generating an appropriate hash of all the input strings that can be generated and checking whether the hashes are equal or not. If they turn out to be equal, that means there was duplication. If they are unequal, we can skip that part of the substring. Let's take a very simple example. We have A, B, C, D, E, and let's assume we are sliding over a window of length 3. So in the first case, what would be the hash value? We'll be using the same algorithm that we use while converting a decimal into a binary or binary into a decimal. We apply the lowest index with the prime number value raised to power 0. Then we apply the second index with prime number value raised to power 1, and the third one to prime number value with raised to power 2. And it can increase as the length of the sliding window increases. So what would be the hash corresponding to the input substring ABC? The hash would be equal to P0, which is 1, into C plus P1 into B plus P square into A. So the old hash value turns out to be equal to A into P square, B into P1 plus C into P0, which is 1. This is the old hash value. Now let's check the possibility of the next possible substring, which would be equal to BCD. So can we reutilize the old hash that we identified to generate the new hash for BCD? What would be the new hash for BCD? It would be equal to B into P square plus C into P1 plus D into P0, which is 1. And let's reutilize the previously computed value to generate the new hash for the updated substring. Let's use mathematics here. This is the equation for hold hash. Then we make sure that A into P square moves to the RHS side. The updated equation becomes B into P1 plus C into P0 is equal to old hash minus A into P square. Then we multiply P on both sides. What do we get? B into P1 plus C into P0 into P equals to old hash value minus A into P square into P. It would be equal to B into P square plus C into P1 equals to old hash value minus a into p square, the whole is multiplied with p. Let's look at the final updated equation. We have b into p square plus c into p1 plus d into p0 is equal to old hash value minus the left coordinate, which was a, into p square, and the complete is multiplied with p plus d, which is a new entry that is getting added into the substring. Just remember this hashing algorithm, and now we will connect the dots. The first one is a binary search and the second one is this helper method. As discussed, I am applying the binary search algorithm on the input string length to identify the maximum length that exists that is duplicated. Let's take two variables, low and high. Low is initialized to 0, high to the length of the input string. Answer variable holds the answer. I go and check till the time my low is less than high. I extract the middle element. I have created a duplicate string helper method. I'll talk about it in the later section, but let us assume it tells us whether the input string is duplicated or not. If it is not, it is duplicated, then I update my answer string to the input string and my low gets updated to mid plus 1 for searching for more or higher possibilities. Otherwise, I update my high to mid. Typical binary search algorithm. In the end, I simply return the answer string. The problem reduces to building the duplicate helper method appropriately. Here I have taken a prime number as a power factor in the complete algorithm. The higher the value is, the better the hashing algorithm would be. Although it won't be 100% proof, 100% false proof, because there could be cases for hashing collision that may occur, but 99.9% cases will be satisfied. So with respect to this input string and for the current length, I have taken a set that will store all the hashes that I have generated so far. I go and identify the current hash corresponding to this string input length, starting from the 0 up till this length. And let's identify the get hash method. Get hash method is a simple method that tells us the hash for an input string that is passed. The factor of multiplication is a prime number that I identified above. You can walk through it on your own. Let's move ahead. I add this newly generated hash into my set. Simultaneously, I have identified the maximum power that got multiplied while generating this hash helper method. Its power equals to 1 up till the length of the input string. So what I'm basically doing here is I am identifying up till what length the power factor got multiplied for the p0 p square case. Now we will move in a sliding window fashion. We'll add a new character, we'll delete the leftmost character, and we generate the new hash. If the existing hash already contained is present in the set, that means we found a duplicate string and we return that part of the substring. Otherwise, we go and add the newly generated hash. The problem reduces to generating the hash appropriately. We'll use the same formula as I discussed in the PPT. It accepts 4 attributes: the maximum power that was generated, the old hash value, the left character that is getting deleted, the new character that is getting added, and this is the formula: old hash minus left into the maximum power into the prime number plus right. If none of the condition is met, if the duplication is not found, we return null in those cases. Accepted. It is 76 times better. The time complexity of this approach is order of n log n. This brings me to the end of today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. I couldn't explain the complete logic in detail because I have some bit of throat issues. I wish I could make another video some other day on the same topic. Thanks for watching it. Hope you enjoyed it.